Amanda here, thanks so much for joining me. So today I've got a little project to share for you, and if you stay to the second part of the video I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay, so what this is, I'm not quite sure, is, well, I'm going to call it a tall skinny envelope folio. That's what I'm calling it. Tall and skinny seems to be popular at the moment. I mean, it's not mega skinny, it's 4 inches, but it's a fantastic standalone project to just make and have fun with, or gift, or you can use it as part of your journal making. So what we have here are 4 envelopes, a series of 4 envelopes, all with a policy closure. I'll show you how to make them and I'll show you how to put them together. So the papers that I've used, I have only used my brand new Journal Ephemera Mega Bundle. There's 30 pages in the kit, I'll link the shop below, and that's all I've used. And I've just cut up invoices and postcards, and I've used all sorts to show that you don't need to just cut out the elements and just use them as pocket stuffers. You can actually create with them as well. So here we are. So the first one here, I'm not going to open every single envelope, I'll just open one. I haven't put anything in the envelopes yet, but I've lined them all, you know, the insides, and they've all got the policy closure using the typewriter keys which are in the kit. So they're really fun to use, and you can see I've used them here to make some little tabs as well. So here I've just cut up an envelope, for example. Here I've cut up an invoice, and I've just used it to mat and layer with. So this one turns like so, and on the back of this one we've got a little pocket. I've fussy cut this vintage looking fountain pen, which is in the fussy cutting page, and I've added 2 little photographs. Backed it there, you can see I've cut up an envelope. So just to show the versatility of what you can do with these papers, and also it's a fun project to try. So on this one here I've used some of my dies. If you've got basic shape layering dies, they're really useful to use to make little pockets and little tucks to add interest. Or you can just make plain pockets, score 1/2 inch on each end, fold them over, and you've got a pocket. Line it with a bit of paper. So this one, you know, you can tuck something behind it or underneath there, and I've just added 2 brightly coloured stamps. Now this envelope here flips down. Okay, I'm going to have to move it up to get it in the shot. Flips down, and I've just created a belly band on the back, lined it with some papers. I've added some tickets and some bits and bobs of ephemera, and on the back there we're lined with a receipt, so that it's just interesting things to look at. It'd be awesome to make and add to a journal, or if you sell journals, make one of these and add it as like a bundle with the journal maybe. It's just something really fun. And then this one here, we've got a pocket, and I've added 2 little tags, and then just bundled up with little labels and brightly coloured stamps, and you can see it's lovely and layered there. And then here we've just got a little handmade embellishment, just a piece of cardstock with some eyelets in. That's it. And you can see the background there, that's one of the you know, the invoices in the collection, and nearly every single thing in the collection is original to me. You won't find them anywhere else. There's the odd thing that I've found in other places, but about 90% of the images, if not more, are all unique to that kit. So that one opens to put things in as well. I haven't put anything in yet. So that flips up, and then that folds over, and then the whole thing turns to the right. And on the back of here we've got another just straightforward belly band. It doesn't have to be complicated. And we've got some more pieces from their collection. And then here, if you're wondering what to do with the images that look like that are envelopes, these are genuine envelopes from the 1950s. I've got a big collection of ones that were sent to this particular lady. So what I did was I cut it from the collection. I've used my ripping ruler to give it a ripped edge, and then I've backed it on some scrap coffee dyed paper, but I've just glued it on 3 sides, which then turns that into like a little envelope pocket, which I've filled with a folded up invoice that was left over, and you've got yourself a little faux letter there. So that's just interesting way to use the envelope fronts that are in the kit. Okay, let me just shove all of this stuff back in here now. Now a lot of it, because it's original documentation that I've got, a lot of it is, you know, vintage colours. So to add some pops of colour, I've just added some other bits that I've found from other places in and amongst, just for a bit of colour. And then on this very tall envelope here, we've got another just belly band. But you could add a pocket, you could add staggered pockets, you know, stacked pockets, you could do what you want. And I've just added this lovely cabinet card image from my collection. So that is in the kit, it's beautiful. And then the clocks that are in the kit, and then the background here is one of the invoices in the kit. So there you go, okay. And then that turns over, and on the back here we've got the suitcase image that's there. And I've just backed it on some cardstock, fussy cut around it, glued it on two sides to make it into a tuck, to just hold some ephemera from the collection. So super simple, awesome fun. The typewriter keys are really fun to use. So if you stay tuned, you will get the tutorial on how to make this. There's just one amendment that I would like to have added to that tutorial, but I'd already done it. So this pocket here, the first one, is attached around the back of pocket 2. Okay, now in hindsight, and sometimes you don't realise until you put things together, this would be better with the spine doubled. Okay, so I'll give you the measurements in the tutorial to double it, and then instead of attaching it on the back of pocket 2, attach it to the back of pocket 3, and then it holds them all closed. But I didn't think. So there you go. Sometimes you just see amendments later after the fact. So there you go. It's a lovely little project. To, you know, it should only take you, you know, a day to make, and have some fun thinking of how to use those bits and pieces in interesting ways. So get comfy and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so let's start by explaining the basic principle. So the basic principle is that we are creating 4 envelopes, policy style envelopes. They're all going to be the same width. They're all going to end up at 4 inches wide. Okay, and each one is 1.5 inches smaller than the other. That's the bit. That's it. That's as difficult as it gets. I'm going to give you the measurements of each individual piece, okay? Now, you could use normal envelopes that are all the same width and then cut them down. That's fine. I'm using cardstock just because I want my project stronger. And then I'm going to line with patterned paper. You will have seen my finished project at the beginning of this video. So you're going to need, so for number 1, this measures 8.5 by 8.5. Okay, so we're going to put it in the scoreboard. We're going to score at 4, and then we're going to score at 8, leaving us, and it's the same on every piece. Every single piece is going to be 8.5 inches wide. That's another thing that makes it really easy. Every single piece is going to be scored at 4, and every single piece is going to be scored at 8. Okay, they're just smaller. And then every single piece you turn on the other side and you're doing a 1/2 inch score on the bottom. Okay, so that's piece 1, 8.5 by 8.5. Piece 2, 8.5 by 7. All the same scores, 4, 8, and then 1/2 inch down there. So exactly the same. And then number 2, 8.5 again. So they're all the same width, but this one's by 5.5. Okay, so again you're scoring at 4 and you're scoring at 8. And then for the 4th one, which is going to be the smallest, again 8.5. They're all the same. Score at 4, score at 8.5, turn it on its side, score at 1/2 inch. So they're all exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to show you very quickly how to, because it's really not difficult. So all you need to do to construct each envelope is fold all of those score marks. Okay, fold all of the score marks, and then you're going to, so you've got this. Okay, you're going to notch at the top there, Okay, you're going to cut this small square away, and every single one you do exactly the same, and then I'm just going to notch. Okay, and then you only need, where you've got the 1/2 inch here, okay, you only need one of them. So it doesn't matter which one you cut away, cut one of them away. I'm going to cut this one away so that this all folds neatly to the back, okay? But it doesn't actually really matter in real terms of which one you do. Okay, so that will construct your envelope. You do every piece exactly the same, okay? Then you're going to do your flaps separate. Now when you're cutting these, whether you use 12 by 12 or A4, you're going to have offcuts. Save all of those offcuts because they will make your flaps, they will make your binding strips, and they will also make your pockets. They should, you know, you'll have very little waste when you've done. So the pockets are all going to measure, and you're going to need one for each envelope. So they're all going to measure 1 3/4 inch by 4. And then on the short side you're going to score at 1/2 inch, and this 1/2 inch you're going to attach to the back of your envelope here, and then that will create your flap. You can round the corners, you can add your little policy closure, you could add a magnet, you can do what you want, but the principle's the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round mine. This is just a sample, I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to round my corners because it looks neater. Okay, so just remember that when the envelope goes together, okay, that's going to fold up, that's going to fold in, and it just folds in half, and you're just making yourself a very basic pocket. Okay, it's so simple, it's just ridiculous. Okay, it's the binding of them that you need to pay attention to. And then, so this is going to glue onto the back. Alright, so I'm just going to notch it just to make sure it fits in nicely. And then I'm going to glue it. So you put glue on the back of there. Okay, and you attach there. Okay, lift it up a bit. Now I'm not putting an increment on here, so don't overstuff your pockets. Okay, you can put stuff in, but don't go mad, you know, because although it's, you know, got these flaps so it'll expand a little bit, you don't want to go absolutely crazy. Alright, so that is your basic policy closure, and then obviously you just make a circle, use eyelets, use brads, you make a circle for there, and you wrap it round with string. I don't need to show you how to do that, everybody has done it before. You see it from my finished item. So you do this stage with all of them, don't glue them shut, okay? So I'm going to go and get all of my other pieces to this stage, and then I'll be back. But don't glue them shut, because you need to add your binding strips before you glue them shut. And you need to decide which way you're doing things, i.e. which way you're going to have your envelopes opening, etc. Okay, right, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've done all of my envelopes. Now, so the binding strips, 1 3/8 inch wide, score it at 1/2 inch, 7/8, and then 7/8 inch, that's it, and then just cut them to size. So use your offcuts, and you just, all you do is just cut it to the length of whichever envelope you're attaching. Okay, so you don't cut it the length of the large one, you cut it the length of the next one up. Okay, so my next one up is envelope 2. Now there's 2 ways of attaching the binding. You can do it the hidden way, where you tuck them in neatly before you glue, okay, and then that will go in there and then it will all be hidden. Or you can do it, and I'm going to be doing it on the smallest one, yeah, where you attach the strip literally to the back of the one pocket and then attach that to the front of another, so they won't be hidden. if you want the hidden method, you need to think carefully which way round you want your envelopes. And what you might want to do is, if your binding strip's going to be on that side, before you glue this on, make that decision, and then this flap would then stick on there. Hopefully you understand what I mean. If you want a hidden binding and you want it to fold that way, then you need to glue it on that side. That tab would need to be there. So plan it before, or just follow mine. Okay, I'm doing a bit of a mixture of both. You're not going to see them if they are visible ones, because we're going to cover them with pockets and paper and goodness knows what. Right, so first one, we've got our large envelope and envelope number 2. So I've got my binding strip, which I've cut to the length of envelope number 2. So I've got it like so. So at this part here, I'm going to attach. I'm going to glue it on the inside. Okay, and that's going to attach to the inside of that envelope so that it's like that. Okay, so let's get that on. And this cardstock is absolutely awful. Things don't want to stick to it. It doesn't crease nice. I think it's American Crafts. It's shocking, but I have had it a long time, so it could just be past its sell-by date. We'll see how we go with glue. If it won't dry quickly, I'll switch to tape. Okay, so it's like that. All right. So now I'm going to glue this side here to the inside of this larger envelope. Okay. And you want this to be level with the bottom. Okay, so level with the bottom. And then they'll all stack nicely. Okay, let's just fold it over. This glue's shocking, and not the glue, it's the card. It doesn't do very good. But this is just a sample. You will have seen my completed one, which I've just used standard 250 GSM white cardstock, I think, unless I've printed on it. I don't know. Right, so now at this point you might want to wait for these to dry in between, but at this point you can close envelope number 1. Don't close envelope number 2 yet, because we don't know what we're doing with it. Let me just notch that a bit, because we don't want it catching. So you can now close envelope number 1. Make sure these flaps don't overlap. I'm in shot. I'm going to cut right across. You don't want them overlapping, okay? You want them sitting nicely, yeah? So we can, I am going to actually use tape, because I can't be doing, we're waiting for that glue to dry. Bear with me. Might be a long tutorial this bit, but if you want to learn how to do it, then it's worth it. Okay. So the original project that I saw that inspired this was done using loads and loads and loads of dies. I don't have them. Lots of people don't have loads of dies. So I thought, well, how can I get that with what I've got? And you can more than often do it just by having a bit of a think. Scoreboard and a trimmer and a pair of scissors is all you need. You don't need millions of dies. Right, so I've put tape on the bottom and on the side so I can seal that one now, because I'm done with that envelope. Okay, so that one's done. Okay, so number 1 is done. So number 2, now I need to decide where envelope 3 is going before I seal this shut. I'm happy with that, where that is, okay? And they're all going to be stacked up to the bottom so that they're all level at the bottom. That way you get that graduated look. Right, number 3. So let me have a think where number 3 is going. So I want number 3 to open. Which way do I want it to open? If that's opening that way. Let me think. I want this. Right, this one, yeah, is going to actually fold down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottom strip there. I'm going to use that to anchor it to the bottom of that one. Alright, so what I can do is I can seal this part shut. So this is envelope 3. We're going to attach it to the bottom of envelope 2. Okay, there's my flap. Okay, I want the flap showing, so this bit here is going to go into here. Okay, so fold it over, put some glue on it. Hopefully I'm in shocks, can't see. Am I? Yeah. So this is envelope 2. Open it up, you've got a flat bottom with no tab. You want to attach envelope 3 to the bottom of there. I'm just going to open it up to make it a bit more flat. Okay. Look how that cardstock's split, it's absolutely rubbish. But I'm only using it for a sample, so it's fine. Line it up to the bottom. Okay. Have I done that right way? I have. It's going to flip up like that. Look, it's coming apart. It's useless. Useless card! But we're not giving up. Okay, so now I have done with envelope 2. So I'm going to seal that shut. Okay, because envelope 1 I'm going to use a binding strip that just goes on the top. Okay, so let's close this up. I'll use tape, it's quicker. Just give that an extra score. Give that an extra score. Make sure none of these overlap, which mine are doing, as they won't sit nicely. There we go. Alright. Where's the end of my tape? Why does this always happen when I'm filming? You know, you try and be quick and concise and professional, and it all goes to pot. Right, so I'm closing up envelope 2. It's very simple. Like I said, you can use recycled envelopes, but they need to be, for this look, so you've got the staggered look, they need to be the same width, and you just chop down the height. But I just find that recycled envelopes aren't terribly strong, which is why I've made it out of cardstock, albeit lightweight cardstock. It just gives it more strength. Right, so that's envelope 2 closed. Envelope 3 folds up like so. You might just need to give it an extra burnish so that it gets used to where you've put it. Okay, I've not put a gusset there. You've got 3/8 of an inch there, and you're going to have 3/8 of an inch on the next one. There's no gusset on this one. It's just going to fold up. Okay. Right, so then you've got envelope 1, envelope 2, and envelope 3, which is about as straight as a 9-bob note, but not to worry. Try and get them a bit straighter than I have. This is just a sample. So the envelope 4, which is essentially going to be number 1 when you come to it, isn't going to attach to number 3. It's going to attach to number 2. Okay, and we're using a strip, but we're going to have an exposed strip. So you can close this envelope, close it up, and it's got a gusset on the binding strip so that it will have room for the other envelope that's going to be sandwiched between. So essentially envelope 3 is going to be sandwiched between this one and number 2, which is why we've got a gusseted strip to allow room. Otherwise it won't sit nicely, and it won't close nicely. Right, so this one we're putting our binding strip on the back here. Okay, let me just use tape, it's just quicker. Tape on the back. So on the back of where you've scored. Okay, so you've got that, and your tape's on this side. Alright, so you're going to line that up with the envelope number 4. Yeah, get that on there. Engage that. Or lay it flat, whatever you want to do. If you want to get it straight, fold it flat like that. Okay, so that you've got that edge there, and then you're lining it up onto number 2. Okay, again, down to the bottom and as close to the edge as you can, but down to the bottom of there. Yeah, then that folds up and that folds across. Okay, and there you've got your stack of, mine aren't straight. Take my time and get yours straight. But don't forget as well, it's going to fill out as you fill it with stuff and add pockets, because you've got that gusset there. Okay, so when you've decorated this and you put in pockets and tucks or whatever you want, and then you put in ephemera in, you can put pockets on the back of there. Okay, and then you can obviously decorate this, decorate this, decorate this. You've loads of space. So then it will open like so and down like so, and then it will go all like so. You could even put another one on the back if you want. You can decorate the back. So that's the basic. You've got 1, 1, 1, 1. So it folds that way, that folds up, and that folds like that. So that's how you do the base, okay? And then the rest is pure decoration. I don't go through full decoration process videos because I spend ages decorating and deciding what papers to use. So I'm not the best person for those kind of tutorials. Also, I'd like to encourage you to have some free thought and decorate them how you like. So I'll show you the base. It's your job to go away and make it look pretty. You're more than welcome to have a close look at where my pockets and tucks are on my one that I've done and copy them, or go with your own. So that's how it's done. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.